the books. Can't escape from the team called the morning steam. It's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
Steam play.
All right, and a pleasant good morning to you coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam show here for Wednesday, November 19th. We're going to hit you up here with some NBA previews. So we've got some action on the ice, 4 games. Got college basketball as well, and a couple of games in the action here on Wednesday night. We're going to preview those in just a moment, and like to say hello to everyone in the chat here joining me on a Wednesday as we get ready for tonight's sports betting action. Sean Fox will be along tonight to anchor the coverage here on the Sports Money Network. Just maybe a week or two away from joining Sean on Wednesday nights. Just got to get through rest of this high school football season. Looking forward to this weekend's games for sure. Hitting the semifinals for me, and well, maybe we'll be out of teams here after this weekend. I'll get back to my focus on Wednesdays with college basketball and NBA, and hey, there were some great games last night all around the league. We'll take a look at it here right now while I say hello to some folks in the chat joining me here today. Thanks for coming by and stopping by here. Let's say who's in the chat with me, waiting on me to get going. Action Jackson is here today by Mac. Also here as well. There's Nuke in the chat. The gang is here. There's Blake, Nick Handy, Joe W. Gary Perez is here today. All right. Good to see Gary there. And let's see here, Jordy as well. Hey, everyone, like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money here on YouTube, fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. Heard them talking about YouTube today on the financial channels. I don't know what's going on, if there's something good going with YouTube, but man, they were really talking up YouTube today like it's something special. I know it works for us, so... All right, it was a good day of action last night. We'll talk about some of the games from, pardon me, from yesterday here. Boy, I watched a good one last night. Well, it was good, but it wasn't a great result. But man, I watched a really good game last night with San Diego State against Troy. My Aztecs, they lost the game though, but it was still a great game. Man, San Diego State, Boyd hit a half-court shot at the buzzer to send the game into overtime. But San Diego State eventually ended up losing the game to Troy. Troy looks like they got a pretty decent team. Not going to down-talk the Aztecs here a little bit, but a little bit disappointing here to get a loss. They'd been one of the few teams in the country to only play 2 games so far. It looked like they hadn't played in, I guess they hadn't played in 9 days, but it looked like they hadn't played in 90 days. They did get their big star back, Goon Guath, who had 20 points. Bird had 24, but the Aztecs ended up losing. They did rally by 12 points down the final 3 minutes to send the game into overtime. But you can't lose the games when you're paying the money to have the teams come in there. And so that goes down as kind of a bad loss there for sure for San Diego State. But pretty good game. I enjoyed it despite the loss. All right, take a look at some of the action there from the NBA last night as well. We did have a few winners here on the show yesterday with the San Antonio Spurs. We had the Spurs yesterday in the win over Memphis. What a game it was. San Antonio closed out the game on a 11-0 run. It was their 10-0 or 11-0 run yesterday, and San Antonio got the win and the cover over Memphis without Wemby in there, but the Spurs continue to look pretty good. They'll have to get by without their superstar here for a while as well. Also, had a winner here on the Morning Steve Show with the Jazz and the Lakers. I apologize for not understanding that LeBron, now he was not upgraded to questionable until after we get off the air. And look, if anything, I've been talking up LeBron getting ready, right? We've explained to you that he had been undergoing his rehab, if you will, or his season prep with the G League team. But I was under the expectation that maybe, hopefully, before Thanksgiving. Well, it indeed was. LeBron was in there, got a double-double. The Lakers got the win. We got the over in the 140-127 win for the Lakers last night. So, yeah, LeBron looked a little rusty, but nonetheless, had Luka, 37 points. That helps. Austin Reeves, 20 points, and the Lakers, they led by 20 late and went on for that win. So Giannis will be out there with that groin issue as well. So you got some other stars that are out here right now, but one star returning. AOD is with us today here, coming on in. Thank you, AOD, here today. All right, and let's also look back at action in the National Hockey League yesterday. We did bring home a couple of winners in the NHL here yesterday on the Morning Steam Show, including, if we can find any here yesterday, but we did have the under in the game between the Islanders and the Stars here yesterday. We had some pushes along the way on some of those totals, but few and far between for me. Rangers and Knights game to go under yesterday as the Knights won it over the Rangers 3-2. That was a popular theme. 4 games ended 3-2. Only 2 games went to overtime, so I don't think the old take all the overtimes and you will win money came through. You need 3. If there's 8 games, you're going to need 3 to come through to be profitable. But still, that still holds true. You're well over 50 units of profit. You're well over 50 units of profit in the month of November alone on those regulation ties. So we'll see if it continues here tonight. We also had some winners yesterday in college basketball here on the Morning Steam Show, as we had the Michigan State Wolverines in their game against Kentucky. So take the points there with Michigan State. They rolled UK 83-66 yesterday, and also brought home a Morning Steam winner with Rhode Island and Yale game to go over yesterday on the show. Also brought home a winner with Duke over Kansas. They covered those points, laying 11. They won by 12 for a winner. We also had Wichita State here on the show. Over Boise State, getting the points, getting 9.5 from Boise. That one worked out for us as well. And also, let's see, one other one was, yes, I remember here now, it was Fresno State. There we had the Bulldogs there yesterday on the Morning Steam Show. You bet we did. Over Stephen F. Austin yesterday as our play here on the Morning Steam Show. Also, college football yesterday. How about it? Morning Steam Show 3-0 in the action. Yeah, you were with us. UMass and Ohio game to go over. That was a winner. Ended up on 56, even with the move there. So markets are opening here, taking a little tumble here. Probably wait for those Nvidia returns today before the market can adjust here. We'll see. Will Nvidia take the market down, or will they blow the market up? Up. Akron and Bowling Green on the morning steam. We had that game to go under in the 1916 win for Akron yesterday, and also Western Michigan and Northern Illinois. We had the Western Michigan Broncos to win and cover, and they did so in the 35-19 victory. So, hey, we'll take that for sure here in that 3-0 sweep. All right. In the Maction, let's go. And we'll preview the Maction here today as well. All right, and don't forget, you can get more picks from me here when you subscribe to my feed over at winnable.com/Ramon. I'm sending out some packages here, mostly focused on college basketball. Hey, you're hopefully getting lots of free winners with me here up and down the network, but I always send out a couple of packages here daily. Oh, man, we lost our overnight play in the NBL last night. You guys have been kind of requesting some NBL, and I was not ignoring my favorite Australian basketball league, but man, I ended up 3.5 points short last night with that game between Illawarra and the Adelaide 36ers. Saw Bryce Cotton there at the end of the game. What a I don't know, Bryce is totally washed, but he was running out of steam there a little bit at the end of the game. He's still the man down there in the NBL, but hey, we did have a few winners here with my premium picks at Winnable. We had South Carolina and Radford game to go under. We had Pepperdine over New Orleans late last night, but tough sledding for me a little bit there with the picks on Tuesday night. We'll bounce back. Just follow me over at winnable.com/Ramon. Use the promo code STEAM to save 20% off those premium pick packages from me. Really supports me here on the channel, keeps me coming back every day and doing this show, previewing the game. So consider subscribing for just less than 50 cents a day when you use that promo code STEAM. I always add some extra days on there. If you subscribe for a month at $19.95, use the promo code STEAM. It takes it down to like $17.10. And then I throw in an extra week there on that. So it's really 5 weeks for $17, comes out to less than 50 cents a day. So please consider subscribing and getting these plays. I'll have my UFC picks here this weekend. Of course, we did debut the show for this week, VB MMA picks here yesterday, and we previewed the fight card here for Saturday night. It's coming to us from Doha, Qatar. So the first time for UFC in Doha, and you can go to the live tab and get VB MMA picks here on the Sports Money YouTube channel. We previewed 3 fights, including Sarukian versus Hooker, the main event with lightweights here this week. Got Sarukian, winner of 4 straight. He beat Oliveira last time out as a $2 favorite. He's up against Dan Hooker this week. Hooker's won 3 straight, including a split decision win over Gamrot last time out, although these guys really haven't fought here too frequently lately. I think they're both on a year layoff coming into this one, more than a year, I think, for Sarukian. But that fight is on Saturday, and you're going to want to join us here on the Sports Money Network on Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. Going to preempt the morning steam. I almost get a day off here on Saturday. And we will have the action here from the Ali bin Hamad Al Atta Arena. We just call it the ABHA Arena, but you can call it the Ali bin Hamad Al Atta Arena in Doha, Qatar on Saturday night. And First Strike will be along tonight from the guys. They'll have their best fights here this evening as well as they get their preview show. Our guest this week on BB MMA Picks was Narco Cop. So, Narco Cop's been busy. He's been busy so ever since the president's got into office, working on his end, but he's took some time to give us a preview of the fights this weekend. All right, let's get rolling here a little bit and get the show started and preview the card. We do have a 9-game NBA card, by the way. And let's see here. We got, who else we got? Cash Kane in the chat. There's Terrell. He was at Mel's Diner. Kiss my grits. I don't know if that's the right Mel's Diner, but that's where he was at. As the entire cast of Alice passed away. All right, Tariq is here. Good morning, SF9er as well. And let's see, I think that's it. Gary says there's been some rain here in Las Vegas, this week for sure. All right, let's get rolling here right now and check out the action here for Wednesday. Start with the NBA. 9-game card here. So let's get it rolling. I want to hear from you in the chat. Remember, if you do comment in the chat, you're going to be entered into a drawing at the conclusion of the show where I will pick one name, or the computer AI will, I think, whoever does it, and that person will win a 1-month subscription to my picks, and hopefully they'll win and keep subscribing. That's what I'm trying to do, is get everyone signed up with me, get the free plays as well. And again, it's very inexpensive and keeps me coming back here every day. Let's get rolling, shall we? And I want to get going here on the show. We got some good games and we got some, not so good games. That's okay. And I'm going to start here with the Hornets taking on the Pacers in this one. You've got the Hornets here going to be a road favorite against the lowly Pacers, of course. Hornets haven't been very good either. They're 4-10. They've lost 3 straight coming in. The Pacers, meanwhile, have lost a bunch of games in a row right now. Their current losing streak currently stands at 8 games overall. They've failed to cover here in 7 straight coming in. They're just 1-13 right now against the Hornets. And not only are the Pacers losing, but they are losing by epic proportions. Every game right now in this streak, I think the last 5 in a row have all been decided by more than 15 points. Even when they were short dogs, they've been losing by more than 15. They lost as a 6-point dog to Toronto by 18 points. They lost to Phoenix by 35 as a 3.5-point dog. Even when they were favored against Utah, remember, on the road. How were they favored on the road against Utah? 152-128. Remember that one? They lost. They were favored by 2.5. They lost by 24, and then they lost to Golden State, getting 12.5. They just can't even come close right now to getting any numbers. Charlotte, meanwhile, even though they've lost 3 in a row, they've covered 3 of their last 4 games. They're getting the points. Now, this would be a little bit different story. Charlotte's only been favored once so far this season, but they did win and cover in that one game. So, hey, don't forget our steam machine here. Uh-oh, let me see what's going on here. We got the steam machine fired up. And we'll keep that running too here as we get ready for the entire show. But if the steam comes in, we're going to be on top of it. And right now, steam coming in the matchup between South Florida and Oklahoma State. Oh, man, this is a high total, and it's going lower here. Wow. So a high-scoring game. Well, it is still expected here in the matchup between South Florida and Oklahoma State. However, we are seeing some steam come in on the under in this game. This one was as high as 181. I want to say here. Let me take a look here. Was as high as 181. Now we're down to just 180 here right now, but it is on the move to the under in the game between South Florida and Oklahoma State. Steam coming in right now on the under in this one, under 180 now. It's only gone down 1 point, but for a pretty high total, maybe that is a significant move. Never really got any higher than 181, though, I don't think. Continue with the action here, though, with the Hornets and the Pacers here on Wednesday. Charlotte has covered 4 out of the last 5 meetings between the two teams overall. The teams have not met yet this season. The teams met back here in April, and Indiana earned a 109-105 win, a 119-105 win. They did not cover in that game. Indiana so far is 5-9 to the under. They're 4-8 to the under as an underdog. Meanwhile, Charlotte in that only game is a favorite that they did win and cover. They did go over in that one game. However, they are 2-8 to the under in their last 10 games overall, and Indiana's gone under here now. Like I said, in 9 of 13 here overall. Indiana's dropped 5 of their last 6 games at home. That's no surprise here. So, all right, do you think that the Hornets can win and cover 2 points on the road against maybe the worst team? I don't know if they are the worst team. I think we can still chalk up a little bit of injury, right? But how long can you really rely on that? I don't want to say it's not an excuse, but really it's just your superstar, really, right? That's kind of been out of the lineup. Yes, Naismith has been in and out of the lineup here. Also, Burpee's been out a while now. Jackson's been out. These guys have been out a while. They do have some long-term injuries here. For Charlotte, Trey Mann is doubtful here tonight. Also, Liam McNeely is out. Also, that's pretty much it for the short-term injuries. You guys are really fired up and chiming in. So let's get it moving here and take a look at what we have in this one. All right. And here we go. Nine Legacy is going to start us off, and he's got Indiana on the spread. Cash Kane likes the Pacers on the money line. SF Diner says Pacers on the money line. They got to win sometime, and maybe this is the one, right? You're playing against a team that certainly is not great.
Steam play.
Let's talk some Steam here real quick. On the added board here, the matchup between Lipscomb and Belmont. We're seeing some Steam here in this one between Lipscomb and Belmont. Steam to the under here. It was 157.5. We're seeing this one go under right now between Lipscomb and Belmont. This total is dropped here currently to 155.5 right now. So about a 2-point move here so far with Lipscomb and Belmont here this morning. All right. AOD says this one is your gambler hotline game of the night. Robert's on the over here with these two. And when was the last time Charlotte's favorite on the road, says Darrell. Kemba Walker, man. Jeez, talk about a guy who could fill it up, huh? He was our remember Terrell when he beat us in the of the Aztecs in that championship game or in that playoff game. All right, let's see. Charlotte played Toronto hard. Justin here this morning. Good morning. Tariq, Pacers for first quarter. He might be on the under. Justin likes it under here as well. The total's the total's up to 238 here today. How about that? I mean, it's kind of gone higher a little bit, huh? All right, let's see here. All right. Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw everyone talking to AOD and sending those condolences there. AOD says, sorry I missed that. Talking about your brother passing there on October the 14th. So, oh man, much prayers to you and your family. I'm sorry I missed that comment there when I was running down. Thought it was just talking about the basketball game, which it was in a way, right? But we all know that when we think about the great games that we go to and going with family, oh man. All right, any more from the crew here? Lovables arrived here, and Gerardo as well as in here. Oh yeah, thank you, Lovable, thank you. And oh hey, I want to say hello in the chat to Anthony Migliaresi. Could be Migliaresi, but it's probably Migliaresi. Let's hope I got that right, Anthony. Anthony Migliaresi joining us first time, I think, here in the chat. Oh, I can't even get it right. Sorry, Justin. Sorry, AOD. I didn't even get it right when you had it there. Oh, your granddad's birthday. Oh, man, I'm so sorry about that. That's the worst thing you can do is I have the wrong person there. All right. And just great comments from you guys, showing plenty of support. So thank you for pulling that off for me there. Take a moment here. All right, I'll get it going here right now in this one with the Hornets and the Pacers here tonight. I'm going to take the Hornets to win. Look, they're losing these games right now by, like you said, 15 or more points. Charlotte's gotten a little bit healthier here of late, with LaMelo coming back into play. So I'm going to go ahead and try the Pacers here. Like I said, I'm trying the Hornets here. Like I said, these Pacers are losing games by more than 15 points every time out. So, yeah, they'll come up with a good effort here in no time. But I'm going to go ahead and try the Hornets here one more time. Fernando, hello as well. And thank you, everyone, for supporting their AOD in the chat. Maybe the Pistons will come up with a big one here this season. I'm sure you attended many games together. Lovable likes the under in this one. All right, let's keep it moving here right now. We'll go to the Raptors taking on the Philadelphia 76ers. This one's dropped big time here. I don't think the line's 4.5, that's for sure. I don't think it ever was. That was a typo, you guys. 1.5 right now. If anything, the Raptors are actually favored by 1.5. This one opened up with the 76ers, the favorite, but right now we're looking at the total kind of dropping here, up a point or so, but the Raptors coming in here, 1.5 point favorite here in this one. They've won 4 straight coming in right now. Philadelphia been a little bit up and down of late, but they're still 8-5 overall. Toronto comes in here pretty hot right now. They're 9-5 here currently. Let's get this steam move here for everyone, and we'll keep going with the NBA. But we do have a move here coming in, and it's on the game between North Florida and Wofford. Seeing some steam coming in here on this one with North Florida and Wofford steam to the over right now. It was 160.5. Also, steam did come in here just a short time before we went on the air. It came in on Wofford here, so we can talk about both moves. As first off, that steam that came in just moments ago on the over, it was 161, but we're up to 162 here. Not a totally big move, but a move came in. And Wofford took the steam as well. They opened as low as 7.5, but they're currently 10.5 right now. The steam, I believe, came in probably around 8, meaning at -8. Like I said, it was as low as 7.5 here, but up to 10.5 here right now with North Florida and Wofford. But the steam currently, this current move is on the over. Okay, so for Toronto here, they come in hot, having won 4 in a row. And after a bit of a slow and rugged start, Toronto's one of the hottest teams in the league here all of a sudden with this 4-game winning streak. Now, they did fail last time out against Charlotte, a 2-point win, but they were favored by 7.5 nonetheless. They've looked pretty good, pretty solid here of late, playing well. Philadelphia, one of the best spread teams in the league right now at 9-3-1. They're also 6-1-1 as an underdog coming in. They're definitely an underdog here. And even though Toronto does show that good record this season at 9-5, they're still just 7-7 against the spread. And they're actually 3-4 against the spread as a favorite. So, they're definitely playing better than the Sixers. Maybe they even are better than the Sixers here right now. Sixers, I'm not saying they're giving anything back. They're still playing hard. And like I said, they're the better cover between these two teams. Sixers are 3-5 to the under as a dog. Both teams have gone under in 6 of their last 10 games overall coming in. Philadelphia has covered 8 of their last 11 games overall as part of that hot streak. Also, they've covered 5 of their last 6 games at home. 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone over, despite the slight trend on these teams going under. These teams did meet just 11 days ago, and it was 130-120. Philadelphia won and covered 5 points, breaking a losing streak to Toronto. So maybe a little bit of revenge for Toronto, but still got to go on the road here to try to pick up the victory. And there are injuries of note, but they're the same injuries, at least for Philadelphia, right? Joel Embiid, he is doubtful for this game. Paul George is still out as well, but Kelly Oubre will be out of this one. Bona's out for a game or two here right now. Toronto got a couple of players here that have minor ailments, but really nothing from the starters here. So I'm going to take the over here in this one between Toronto and Philadelphia here tonight. I'm going to go over to 34.5. Give me the over tonight. We can chime in with your plays, but let me just also pass along a little more steam with Cashville. Cashville is taking the steam here right now in their matchup tonight against Western Carolina. They were getting 1.5 points from the Catamounts, but right now we're seeing Asheville here, I believe, moving to favoritism. Right now they are currently at -1.5 at DraftKings. So flip the favorite. Western Carolina was favored by 1.5, maybe 1 when the steam started here, and now they're favored. Asheville over Western Carolina. Asheville's taking the steam. Also, just seconds ago before that, the under came in on that game as well. Makes you think that maybe there is some type of issue with Western Carolina here. Didn't look up any injury report, but the move was also on the under. It was as high as 155, but we're seeing it down here to 153 or so, about a 2-point move under with Asheville and Western Carolina. Let's get your plays in the chat right now here on the game between the Raptors and the Sixers. All right, here we go. It's going to be Tariq, I think, is starting us off. He's on the Raptors. Lovable says, why are the Raptors even favored here now? And I think they're playing well. I think that, I don't think this is necessarily a fluke with this lineup, right? When Podol's healthy, that gives them a real inside-out presence, it feels like. And you got, BI playing well, RJ playing, that starting group is real cohesive, it feels like. And remember, oh man, Terrell remembers it like it was yesterday. Boy, has it really been 14 years, Terrell? Oh, man. Maxey on his assists here for SF Niner. Lovable says Philly should be favored. And they were lovable, but it's flipped here. I don't know if is it Sharp or... All right, SF Niners leading to the money line there for... that's a Raptor if I've ever seen one. Robert's on the Raps here as well. And the Raptors look good from the start. Hey, here's Dirty Reg chiming in with one of the games that we'll be previewing later with Baltimore County and G-Dub. Lovables on Toronto and over. SF Niners got BJ to go over in his rebounds. And AOD says this is going to be a good one. Yeah, Edgecombe's the man, isn't he? I mean, we almost forgot how hot he was there at the start of the season. All right, I'm on the over. All right, next up, I've got the Rockets taking on the Cavs. Now, I think this one may look out of order here if you're going by the Vegas rotation, but the Warriors in the Heat game has been pushed back to 7:40 Eastern, 4:40 Pacific. So we'll preview that one next and keep it in line here with the Rockets on the road taking on the Cavaliers. It's the Rockets that have now won 4 in a row and cleaning up a little bit of a slow start here right now. They're already 9-3 all of a sudden. Cleveland's 10-5, so this is looking like a pretty good game. Cleveland's won a couple in a row here. Looks like they're getting it together now as well. Wins here over Milwaukee. They covered that one. Remember, that was the game Giannis left here, and we're getting the word here. He's going to miss some time. I think they were saying it yesterday, but Milwaukee coming in here. I'm sorry, Cleveland coming here with the win over Milwaukee. They got the money at home. They also beat Memphis at home by 8 prior to that. Now, Cleveland is, despite their 10-5 straight up record, they're just 5-10 against the spread. They haven't been too clutch, but this is only their second time as an underdog here so far this season. In fact, I'm going to say the line's currently 1.5, not 2. So let's call it 1.5 here, though. But Houston, not only on this winning streak here of 4 in a row, but they are covering numbers here right now. They are 5-1 against the spread on the road so far this season. 7-4 against the spread as a favorite. Cleveland did cover in their only opportunity as an underdog this season. They did win and cover in that role. It was against Miami, remember, back a week ago in the 130-118 win on the road at Miami. Houston here in their 4-game winning streak, and they've covered them all except the last one. They beat Orlando by 4 at home. That's a 7.5-point favorite, but nonetheless, they've been a terrific cover so far this season. Maybe hear from you guys in the chat in this one is Houston has won 9 of their last 10 games overall. Coming in, Cleveland's won 7 of their last 10, but remember, like I said, that home 2-6 ATS so far this season for Cleveland at home here. Now, I will say maybe they've been favored in some of those games, right? Obviously, and like I said, in 15 games this season, they've been favored in 14 of them, so they've usually been laying too many points every time. But Houston can't fault the way they're going as well. Houston's gone over in 5 of their last 5 in a row on the road and 6 in a row overall. They're a big time over so far this season with all those road games going over this season. They're also 10-2 to the over overall. Meanwhile, Cleveland is 3-5 to the under at home. Does that sway anything for you on the total? Cleveland's gone over in 6 of their last 8. I'm going to take Houston here in this one over Cleveland. Houston's won the last 3 meetings between the two teams. Houston won here last year, 135-131 as a 4.5-point dog. I'm going to go ahead and take Houston here to get a road win over Cleveland on Wednesday night. And let's throw a Steam play your way while I head over to the chat and see what you guys have in this game. But we've got some Steam coming in here with Chattanooga in their matchup against South Carolina. It was 157, or was 158. Steam has come in here. Steam also came in on Chattanooga. Just to update, we've been talking about how solid the Steam has been. It has not been a perfect week so far in the first 2 days of the week here with the Steam, although it is 60 and 48 for this week for the first 2 days of the week here. So Steam coming in though on that one, Chattanooga and South Carolina State on the under. In that one, it was 158. It's down to 155. 3-point move to the under. And the Steam did come in on Chattanooga a little bit earlier. Nothing I could do now. This was a move overnight, but just to show you, Chattanooga was open as low as a 9-point favorite. They're currently as high as 12 here right now. Chattanooga at South Carolina State. It's just seconds ago. Some Steam came in on one of the better games today. I don't have this one in the preview, but Wyoming and Sam Houston here, Steam to the under. It was 160, but we're seeing a pretty significant move here right now, and it's down to 158 and a half. Point and a half move or so on the under with Wyoming and Sam Houston. All right, let's see what you guys have in the game between Houston and Cleveland today. Probably one of the better games of the day, it feels like, right? Here we go. I think Lovable might be going under. Justin's on the over here. And how about Spider here, over 5.5 assists. Gooey's got our challenger play of the day while we're sitting here talking the other sports. Gooey can't stand the fact there's no tennis right now on the top circuit. I'm just kidding. He's always hanging out in the challengers. Cap's been a second half team so far, and that's when Spider heats up. Greg here has this one. He's got to play on this one for sure. This is Cleveland. This is Cleveland and the under for Greg. Okay. SF Niner says he can't even get in on tennis. They've cut him off. Too many winners.
Steam play.
All right, Cavs on the spread here for 9 Legacy. SF Niner likes Sengun over in his rebounds and assists. And Greg, I think Greg's updated his numbers here, but he still likes Cleveland. Okay, over for Tariq. Sengun over the rebounds here, it looks like, for SF Niner. And Greg says that Cleveland should be favored in this one. AOD says it'll be
Steam play.
I think he's got the Rockets here to rock. And SF Niner likes Allen's rebounds under. Okay. And Lovable with Houston to win and cover. All right, great job, guys. I got some more moves here right now coming in, a little bit more steam this morning. Like I said, for those who aren't familiar with it, we kind of just hit these moves up. There's so many college basketball games, and we can only preview a handful, even though I think I've got 7 or 8 today selected. But this way it gives you a feel for the moves a little bit and all the games on the board. And we're just seeing a move here right now on Creighton. Creighton's taking the action here this afternoon in their matchup with North Dakota. Creighton has just taken the steam here in this one. They were as low as 26. But we're seeing that move come in right now on Creighton, and they're up to 27.5 here for the most part. 1.5 move on Creighton here on the Morning Steam Show. And moments ago, before that, there was another move here on the game that we're going to preview here on the Morning Steam Show between Maryland. You guys just said it. It was Maryland, Baltimore County, and George Washington. We're seeing some steam here in this one to the under here right now between Maryland, Baltimore County, and George Washington. And this one going lower here at 162.5 right now. So that steam coming in on Maryland, Baltimore County, and George Washington. That was one of our preview games here, you guys. So kind of, like I said, we kind of take care of some of the show a little bit sometimes just by talking about these games. But I did have this one lined up in the previews here, and this is my call, actually. The under in Maryland, Baltimore County, and G-Dub. So I'll just give it out here right now. It's going down, and I'm on the under in this one between the Retrievers and the Colonials. I'm on the under in that one. All right. We'll talk about it when we get there a little bit. Okay. M the Great is here today as well. And SF Niner says, want to see this next one. Let's go to it. Let's go to the next one. You guys are talking about it already. And just interesting, right? Because you got Butler coming in to take on the Heat. But I'll tell you what, that game last night, talk about heat, it was heated between the Warriors and the Magic. For whatever reason, those two teams have a little rivalry, even though they just play the year. They really get into it. And last night, the Miami Heat was able to the Golden State Warriors lost that game to Orlando last night. Here's a steam move right now coming in to update you on with South Alabama. South Alabama taking the steam here against Jacksonville State, 7 Eastern and 4 Pacific. Jacksonville State was a 2.5-point favorite in this one. We're seeing that steam come in down to 1.5 here. It looks like just a 1-point move for now, but we did catch it a little bit early. We'll see if it moves further. And actually, I think this one is a game that we do have previewed here. I better check on this one now too. Here, just preview this one because you got 5-0 going against 3-0 here, but they might be ruining the college basketball segment here right now in this one as the steam is coming in. South Alabama here and Jackson State, the steam on South Alabama. That's what I'm on. So maybe there'll be no college basketball segment, kind of like last Saturday, or last Sunday, South Alabama, the steam comes in. I'm on South Alabama in that one. All right. Also, steam. Oh man, this has turned into the college basketball segment. So the steam's coming in right now on UConn in their big televised game here today. UConn taking the steam here right now in their matchup. See if I get this right here against Arizona today. This is my play. The steam's coming in on UConn. They were a 5.5-point favorite. They're really taking the heat here. I like UConn today, but man, they're up to 7.5. I'm laying it right now with UConn minus 7.5. I'm taking them over Arizona today. That might be too big of a move for some of you, but I'm sticking with it. UConn was going to be my play on the preview here. They're taking the steam right now. It's up to 7.5 against U of A. It's the feature game of the night for sure. Both teams coming in 4-0, and maybe there'll be no college segment by the time we get there. That's okay. We want to keep everyone up to date on the latest moves, make sure they get the best prices if they can. All right, here we go. Normie here for SF Niner. I don't even know if I previewed the game yet here. Warriors and Heat. Robert's on the over. Justin likes the Warriors. on the money line here in this one. And now let me talk about the game here a little bit as well, with the Warriors coming in taking on the Heat. So, like I said, Warriors lost the game last night to Orlando. Got pretty heated there. You know that Draymond, I mean, he can't stand it. He has to get in somebody's face there every night. So he was miserable again. Uh, Warriors coming in here 9-7. The Heat are 8-6. Feels like they're 10-4 right now. The way we've been betting on them here, they are 6-1 against the spread at home so far this season. 3-1 against the spread as a favorite. Meanwhile, Golden State just 4-7 against the spread on the road. Struggling on the road for sure this season. They're also 4-7 straight up. Warriors have gone over in 9 of their last 11 games on the road here right now. Heat are 9-5 to the over, although just 4-3 to the over at home. These two teams met here back in March, and it was 112-86. The Heat got the win and the cover. In fact, they've covered the last two here between the clubs. See how you have it in this one today with the Warriors and the Heat. Heat have actually gone under in 5 straight games overall against the Warriors, but man, so far, like I said, Warriors are not playing very well defensively here. They've gone over in 4 of their last 5. Miami's gone over in 4 of their last 5, but the series is definitely an under in the last 5 meetings. In fact, the losing team, I believe, has scored under 100 points in each of the last 4 meetings between the two clubs. But I'm going to have to go over in this one between Golden State and Miami tonight. Give me the over here in this one. Now the markets are kind of taking off a little bit in anticipation, I'm sure, of the NVIDIA news today. All right, here we got a few more plays from you guys in this one. And Lovable says, what about the injuries, Ramon? Is there something missing here with this matchup? Well, Curry did turn his ankle there late, I believe, in the game, but he is questionable here. Bam is still questionable as well. So, you know, the two big stars here, but feels like Curry should make this lineup. Bam, not so sure, but like I said, trending towards questionable here. Kuminga is questionable as well. I'm going with the over. Terrell's going with the under. Warriors money line for SF Niner. And Cash Chain says he's concerned. He thinks it is a little bit of a more serious ankle twist here. Anthony's got the Raptors and the under. Thank you, Anthony. Great to have you as a member of the Chat All-Stars. Tariq is on the Warriors. SF Niner has a parlay here. Warriors and Pacers moneyline parlay. Robert on the Warriors here. And if Curry sits, right, could be an issue here. And I know what you guys are saying. You know, does that line kind of reflect Curry being out possibly? I'll say this. I believe the send out was 6.5. So I don't think that it's moved at all as if, you know, would it move any higher? Is it 6.5? I mean, that line, the overnight line was already issued at about 6.5 before last night's game. And it really hasn't moved yet. But we got to see later on when we get our updates here. All right, that's it for that one. Next up, we've got here we go. Kings and Thunder here tonight from Oklahoma City. Well, we got a blowout scheduled here, 18.5 to 32.5 between more of the haves and the have-nots in the NBA. Man, you got an Oklahoma City team in here. They're red hot again as usual. Rolling teams left and right now. They're on a 6-game winning streak. They've covered 7 of their last 10 overall. Meanwhile, the Kings, they've dropped 6 in a row here right now, and they've dropped 6 in a row against the spread. So not only losing, but losing by margin as underdogs every time. They're lost by 13 to the Spurs, a 6.5-point dog. Lost to 14 to Minnesota as an 11-point dog. They lost by Atlanta to 33 as a 4.5-point dog. It goes on and on here over the last 6 games. That the Kings are just dismal here right now. For the Thunder, coming in on a hot streak, but they have failed to cover in each of the last 2 games, and it should be noted that each of the last 2 games they were favored by 17.5 and 18.5. The games that prior to that in this winning streak, they were covering, laying more modest numbers, 8.5 against the Lakers, 8.5 against the Warriors, 10.5 against Memphis. But when you put them up here in this range, it's been a little bit more of an issue here of late to cover. However, the Thunder have covered 6 of the last 7 meetings between these 2 teams overall, including their last meeting here just 12 days ago. Oklahoma City won on the road 132 to 101 at OKC. OKC also had played them on October 28th, although that was a failure. Oklahoma City won 107 to 101 as OKC did not get the money in that one. Sacramento actually got the money between the two. That was the one non-cover in the last 6 games between the 2 teams. So Thunder still kind of has their number here right now. And there are a couple injuries here of note. You've got Sabonis. He's out here of this game for Sacramento. Jalen Williams, the guard for the Thunder, he is out here. Aaron Wiggins is out as well. Kenrick Williams, he has been out indefinitely here from an injury. So see what you guys have in this one between Sacramento and OKC here on Wednesday night. I'll go to the chat. See what you guys have here in this one. 4 of the last 6 meetings between the 2 teams have gone under. And here we go with some plays from the chat in this one between the Kings and the Thunder here. Yeah, it's going to start with, we heard some bad news. I got to break in with some breaking news, you guys, if you don't mind. This one's a little personal. Stand by for breaking news. All right, gang, this one's for me and Terrell, I think, in the chat, maybe some others that are Padres fans with me, but one of the great Padres of all time passes away this morning. There was reports last night that he was not in great shape here. The old left-hander, the man with the, as Jerry Coleman would said, the Karl Marx hairdo, Randy Jones, passes away at the age of 75. Man, my earliest memories of going to games, 6 or 7 years old. This is the man you wanted to see pitch. He could get you out, in and out of the stadium in less than 2 hours for sure. But the Padres announced the death of the old curly-haired left-hander here at the age of 75 here today. Pitched for the Padres for 7 years, won the Cy Young Award, and earned an All-Star bid in 1976. He won 42 games, and man, he didn't need a relief pitcher. He would go all the way. So his number's retired by the Padres. Number 35, Randy Jones, and he passes away here. He had been a little bit ill here of late, and there was some talk last night that he wasn't doing too good over on Padres Twitter. So Padres icon, Randy Jones, passes away at 75. A little bit hits me a little bit hard there. I remember in elementary school, and I could have been 8 or 9 years old, and he came to our elementary school, and they asked the students to put some questions on some little 3x5 cards, and they had 10 questions, and I was 9 of them, of course. For Randy Jones, and Jerry Coleman was the other of the great Padres announcer that came to our school. So, oh man. All right, let me keep it going here though right now. And continue on here with our preview. And just play out here with the Sacramento and the Thunder. All right, I'm waiting for see if you guys a few more comments here, a few more plays from you guys in the chat. And let's see here, a parlay for SF Niner, Pacers and Warriors there, and Cash Cane, Nuggets spread, OKC spread, and Timberwolves spread. Thank you for that. SF Niner also OKC on the alternate line here. All right. Sacramento's 8-6 to the over so far this season. OKC 4-2 to the over at home here. The widely reported steam, however, did come in on the under in this game between Sacramento and Oklahoma City here, but I got to go over in this one. I don't know if I'm feeling that. Give me the over here with the Kings and the Thunder on Wednesday. Next up will be the Wizards taking on the Timberwolves here in this one. Got the Wizards on the road. They're 1-12. And the Wizards, they're part of that group, right? Some of these teams are just dreadful right now. Got Minnesota here, pretty hot here right now. They're heating up for sure. They're coming in off of a win here over the Dallas Mavericks, 120-96. They covered 14.5. Before that, they did lose to Denver at home, but they're doing okay here against the spread. It's really Washington that's been the story. Not only are they 1-12 overall, but they're 2-11 against the spread. They're 2-9 against the spread as an underdog, 2-5 against the spread on the road so far. It's been pretty bad sailing here so far for Washington. Minnesota, meanwhile, they do have a winning record here currently at 9-5, but haven't been a great cover so far. Still, they've covered 6 of their last 10 overall, although they are 6-8 against the spread so far this season. But the one interesting thing to note, and like I said, I don't really put as much stock into all the head-to-head series when you're talking about Eastern Conference and Western Conference here, but Washington's covered 10 of the last 11 meetings over the last 6 seasons against Minnesota. That to me just says a mental block here that Minnesota doesn't, that they overlook Washington. Washington's been pretty bad. 12 of the last 15 meetings between these two teams have gone over. That might be less significant, but you still have Washington 7-3 to the over so far in their last 10, 9-4 to the over so far this season, 5-2 to the over overall. Minnesota's gone under in 4 of their last 5, but Washington's gone over in 5 of their last 6 games. Just can they get enough points together here? That's a high number, right? At 230, in fact, it's 238.5 here right now. So something to consider. I mean, 1-10 against the spread against this club is Minnesota. They just never are able to cover against them, it feels like here right now. Washington actually won the last meeting here in February last season, 105-103 as a 12-point underdog. And before that, Minnesota failed to cover some big double digits against them here, including one at home here. Last year. It was at Washington, but they were favored by 14.5, and Washington got the money in that one as well by 0.5 point. So let's see if you guys have a play here in this one. between the Wizards and the Timberwolves here tonight. Wizards for Justin. He's got Ant to go over. Roberts on the over here in this one. Also, let's see, Rudy here over in his points for SF Niner. Lovable's got Minnesota to blow him out. And SF Niner worried about those starters staying in if it's a blowout tonight. I will say this when people do, when you look at those, it should actually be always, I know that's something that we always hesitate, right? They're going to pull them out, but you should see actually a reduced total in that sometimes. So the market should reflect, right? Because I believe expert bettors are going to come in and know that same thing as well. I think that's what Level kind of saying there right there. All right, and let me see here for the Wizards and the Wolves. I think we took care of it there as far as most of the good trends. Like I said, this is a interconference series, so Minnesota's covered 6 of their last 9. Washington, like I said, just terrible so far this season. I'm going to take the over in this one with Washington and Minnesota here. Give me the over 238.5 in this one. 9 Legacy here is on Minnesota, and Jermaine is on the Wizards here, it looks like. And Terrell says you could get in on some of those bench players or younger players. All right, next up, we've got the Nuggets on the road taking on the Pelicans. And, man, the Nuggets are getting going here right now as well, heating things up. Nuggets come in here with a record now of 10-3, and New Orleans is 2-12. Again, you got one team going one way, another going the other. Although Denver did lose last game to snap a long, modest winning streak. They lost to Chicago, remember, in that wild game. They were favored by 12.5, and remember, they ended up blowing that game there with that huge third quarter for Chicago. They tried to come back there in the end, but Chicago ended up winning the game 130-127. Still, Denver is 9-3 against the spread as a favorite so far this season, and they're taking on a team that they've had some relatively good success against, that's for sure. Denver's covered 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams. They've won 5 of the last 6 overall. New Orleans has dropped 9 of their last 10 games at home and 6 in a row. 13 of the last 20 meetings between these two teams have gone under, but New Orleans has been kind of an over so far this season. They are 8-6 to the over so far. These teams did meet just 15 days. It was October 29th, and Denver got the win, 122-88, laying 12 points. Denver's won and covered the last 3 in this series between the two teams. For New Orleans here, they come in 5-7-1 as an underdog here. Let's see what you guys maybe have in the chat in this one. Between the Nugs and the Pels. We're cruising along here. I'm taking my time here today, it feels like, but see what you guys have in the chat in this one. Here we go. Okay, I think Robert's on the over here with this game. And how about Aaron Gordon over 5.5 rebounds? Jermaine says Denver first quarter. Yep, we do have an injury report here today as well. Zion, questionable here. Doesn't feel like he'd make these lineups ever right now. You just got to consider him out at this point. I mean, I keep saying questionable, but that doesn't seem to make the lineup, right? Sadiq Bey, questionable here in this one. Makovich, questionable for New Orleans. For Denver, Strother is out of this game. All right, we'll see what you guys have here in this one between Denver and New Orleans here tonight. Okay, oh, that's cool. Was that OKC meaning right there with that? Okay. Justin's on Aaron Gordon ramping up the rebounds here. He's got the alt rebounds going. And Joe says there's that Denver under in 13 of 20. And, these are semi-frequent opponents. Here's Greg right there. That's a wizard. That's a play on, I believe, the Pelicans there, right? Yeah, 12-238. That's a play on the over, I think, more so. Play on the over there from Greg, I think. All right. And Justin here. No, let's see. I think I got them all. If Zion plays, then take the points, but that doesn't feel like he's ever going to play, right? Take Murphy here over on his points, says Terrell. Jermaine says Cam Johnson, PRA under. All right. I think that's going to do it for that one. I'm going to play the total here in this one, and I'm going to take this one under tonight between Denver and New Orleans. Give me the under here in this one. Denver first quarter for Tariq. All right, next up, a couple more here. And we've got the Knicks taking on the Mavs here. Knicks are favored by 5 on the road. Total 228.5 here in this one. This one's actually gone up to, I think, 230.5. It feels like this one's been on the rise. Knicks come in here 8-5. Dallas 4-11 right now. Dallas has been a little bit of a funk here of late. They did win the other night against Portland, 138-133 as a 3-point dog, but then lost by 24 at Minnesota as a 14.5-point dog. They even lost to the Clippers, remember, in that overtime game. The Knicks are coming in off of the loss at Miami the other night, 115-113 as a 1-point dog. They did beat Miami the night before that at home, 140-132. The New York Knicks are 0-4 against the spread on the road so far this season. They're 8-5 against the spread overall, so they're 8-1 against the spread at home. 0-4 against the spread on the road. Should be noted they're 7-4 against the spread as a favorite. Dallas, meanwhile, 6-9 ATS so far this season. The teams did meet in New York back in March, and the Knicks won 128-113 to snap a long losing streak to Dallas. Dallas has actually had the Knicks number a little bit over the last several years, actually. We know the teams only play twice a year, but New York just 2-4 against the spread. Their last 6 against Dallas overall. 5 straight meetings between the two teams have gone over, including that last one at New York that was a 241. They went for 243 in the game last year here in Dallas. Dallas has lost 8 of 10 coming into this one. They're just, like I said, 4-11 overall, 3-7 straight up at home, but it's got to be a little bit of something to these Knicks on the road. They're just not clicking. And we know Dallas isn't doing much at all, especially with seeing Ant here always Anthony Davis here always out. He's missing another game here tonight. Jalen Brunson is questionable, but you got to think maybe his chances getting in there a little bit better here. Let's see. Also, Exum has been out. Ryan Nembhard is out. Gafford is probable. Lively is probable. I'm going to take the Mavericks here against the Knicks on Wednesday. Let's see how you guys have this one in the chat. Here we go. All right. Let's see here. Greg says Zion doesn't play. Denver blows him out. Lovell says, is AD playing? I mean, you can't like AD's chances, huh? No, he's out. He's out. Justin says he's got this one to go over tonight. Maybe take Max Christie and his 3-pointer prop. Greg likes the Knicks here, but he's got it just right on the number, it looks like. Robert likes it over here as well. Jermaine's got to take the Mavs, it looks like. SF9 are talking about the Christie props there. And Lovable says right there, right on the number there pretty much. And, oh, look, Brunson, he likes to light it up here in Dallas, says Terrell. Watch out for Brunson, should he be in there tonight. I like his chances to make this lineup. He's a pretty tough player. Tariq says the Knicks can bounce back, though, here in this one. And then Jermaine says he wait for the Brunson news and then take under on Shamet and Clarkson, should it unfold the way he is looking at it. Knicks by 11 here for Lovable, but the Knicks by 3, just 3 for Greg. And Cash Kane on the Knicks. A lot of Knicks support here for sure. There's Dine Legacy as well, but I'm on the Mavs here tonight against the Knicks.
Steam play.
Well, we need a steam play to break up the monotony here with Alabama State and Air Force. We're seeing some steam here in this one coming in right now on the under with Alabama State and Air Force. Top of the board here on the added. Top of the board overall, 6 Eastern and 3 Pacific. Steam to the under here right now. It was 141 in this one, but it's down to 139 here right now. About a 2-point move. Alabama State and Air Force steam to the under. SF Niners liking the Mavs too. Everyone loves that Christie prop over tonight. That should be noted. That's a consensus play, I feel like, in the chat, right? Well, we've made pretty good time, even though I'm talking a little bit slow today, it feels like. But the Bulls and the Blazers, and we got, I got a bunch of opinion in here. I don't want to let it go. All right, Blazers on the home here. Looks like the Bulls are up to a 3-point favorite at some spots, and this total is 245.5. I'll call it 2.5 just in case, but feels like a little bit on the move. Feels like a little bit of move on the Bulls and the over here. The Bulls did take the steam here in this one as well. Bulls come in 7-6. The Blazers are 6-8 coming in, but both teams have been struggling here a little bit of late. The Blazers have lost 3 in a row, and the Bulls, although they did just win, that did snap a losing streak when they beat Denver in that wild game. This is the 4th game of the road trip here for Chicago right now. Portland comes in here not playing very well. Not only are they not winning, they're not covering. Even the game they did win recently over New Orleans, they didn't cover the spread in that one either. So the Bulls come in here pretty hot. Bulls won the last meeting between the two teams at Chicago, 118 to 113, but they were favored by 6.5. So they did win it there, but that was last season here. But the Bulls have kind of had their number as well. Uh-oh. Let's see what these numbers look like. Chicago's won 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams overall, but like I said, the Bulls have lost 5 of their last 6, despite the fact they're 8-4 against the spread so far this season, just 1-2 as a favorite against the spread. Meanwhile, Portland 5-2 against the spread as an underdog. It's kind of their role a little bit here, despite the fact that Chicago's been a little bit of a better team. Portland's gone over in 5 of their last 6 at home and over in 7 of their last 8 overall. These two teams are a combined 20-7 to the over so far this season. Portland's 5-1 to the over at home, and Chicago's 3-1 to the over as a favorite. So can you stomach it? Can you go here with Chicago? They're the better spread team overall, but on the road, they're not as good. Portland is better at home, and even though they have a losing spread record. And it should be noted, the Blazers are struggling, right? 0-5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games. So this one has one of the more, I feel like, significant injury reports here right now, especially Portland. They've got Tybalt, questionable. Holiday, questionable. Grant, questionable in this one. Meanwhile, for the Bulls, Jones is questionable, and Jalen Smith probable here, and Kobe White, who made his season debut, he is probable in this one as well. Get ready to make your play. I'm going to come up with some steam here real quick. It's on the Rockets and the Cavaliers. This one's being steamed to the over right now. I mean, I was wondering if it would. It was as low here as 231.5 in the openers, but we're up to 234.5 right now. Rockets and Cleveland steam to the over in that one right now here on the Morning Steam Show. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take the Blazers here in this one. Like I said, it feels like Chicago maybe has come back down to earth a little bit after that hot start, right? They pretty much gave it all back here right now, and they haven't necessarily turned it around or anything. They were on a losing streak before winning that last game over Denver, and now they're still on the road, coming in a little bit off of a high of beating Denver on the road, and now you got to kind of backtrack a little bit here on this road trip. If you look at the way they went right here, they started in Detroit, then went home before that, but then went to Utah, went to Denver, and now up here to Portland. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Blazers tonight, plus the points at home. And you got some plays here from the chat, and then the basketball segment's over, at least in the NBA here. So let me see what you guys have in this one between the Bulls and the Blazers. Greg says, don't forget, it's Wednesday. Let's take some dogs. I just did, Greg. And Lovable, thank you. I wish, you know what, you guys, so I swear, I'm not disrespecting you guys at all, and I try to do a great show, but if we could get like 500 people, I'd just spend all day working on the show, and I'd read it all off perfectly, and I wouldn't stall, and I wouldn't yawn, and I wouldn't I'm not, hope you guys don't mind, You guys always make fun of me never sleeping. But here we go. Let's see here. Oh, we got Terrell. He's got a prop here. Butler, Levine, Murphy, Brunson. Player points prop, I think. Justin likes the over here in this one with the Bulls and the Blazers tonight. And Blazers are tough at home. Lovable says. There's Greg. I think, right here. He's got that one a little bit over, I think, there for Greg.
Critical notice.
All right. Hey, hello to Elliot in the chat. Good to see him. He's on the over here as well. And Thanksgiving holidays are coming. Yeah, I know Mikey's out there. I did put the Mikey. I put the. Let me see if I can do it here with the, let me see if I can, I've got the background a little bit here on the Halloween background. Let's see if I can find it here. Are we on the Halloween background? Let me see here. Oh, wait a minute. That's the Halloween background. Let me see here. What do you guys want to see? How about, we got, oh, I can't see that one. How about the, oh, that one's not bad, huh? All right, maybe there's we can leave that up there. I don't know. Gave us some Halloween or some backgrounds there. All right. And let's see, we got a few more plays here, though, in this one. Roberts on the Bulls. 9 Legacy Bulls on the spread. And Sharp, I mean, man, Terrell has Sharp been just, we already know, right? He's probably one of the favorite players of a lot of, one of young players that you keep an eye on. But right now, I mean, it really is turning it up into his best play here, it feels like right now. All right, Greg says this will be a quick revenge spot here for Portland. And Lovable here likes the over. Sharp over with a little bit of an alternate line there for SF Niner. And Greg says Portland beat the Thunder. Yeah. And Anthony talking about left-hander, about Randy Jones in there. Thank you, Anthony. I said, certainly, I mean, as someone who, Mom would take me to so many Padres games in my years there, the young years, and he was the man. He was the man you wanted to have pitching. I didn't really understand back then about a 2-hour game. I don't know if anyone did. But Randy did a lot also in the community in San Diego. And tell you what, he had one awesome barbecue place too, Randy Jones Barbecue. All right, Greg here, evenly matched game. Jermaine's on the Blazers here. Tariq's ready. He needs an injury report. There. Oh, I gave him what I had right now, but he wants to get the final ins and outs. Okay, Jermaine Blazers. Let's see, last 11 of back-to-back. They're what are they? 11-0 against ATS in back-to-back games. Yeah, they definitely faded there a little bit last night. Okay, let's see here. M the Great, thank you. He's got a prop in that other game there. And thank you, Tariq. Yeah, we struck out, though, on that one, Tariq, last night. Hadn't played a game in Australia in a while. Mostly because, I'll say I know there have been some requests that, Ramon, anything in Australia? And, without great tennis in the middle of the night, I have been taking some naps. Come on. No great tennis to watch in the middle of the night. Just go to bed. not even worried about it. So I probably should do a better job on the NBL. I mean, after all, you can get it there. Okay, I'm looking through the comments here. And Gooey said, Gooey said, horned up for the Hornets there yesterday. Remember that? Yeah. Did we do it? Did we do it yesterday? Was I horned up as well with the Hornets there? Oh, that was 2 days ago, right? There, Gooey. And Anthony, Nuggets, Wolves, Thunder. Got some blowouts there. All right. I think I made it through all your chats there, and that's it for the NBA. Thanks, you guys. Good job for that 9-game card. Man, that took a while. We're already a quarter to the hour here. Let's go. I'm going next. Where am I going next? I got to go to the MAC. We got to go to the MAC here. Return of the MAC. And we've got some significant games here for sure in the MAC tonight. Look at these standings here currently. And you got a pretty good game here, right, with Miami of Ohio taking on Buffalo. Both teams come in 4-2. They're a half a game back of Ohio U for second place in the MAC. Western Michigan is 6-1 after yesterday's victory here. So look, these teams are still trying to chase down the possible second place spot here in the conference. You got Miami of Ohio here 5-5 overall. Buffalo comes in 5-6 overall. Miami has lost 2 straight to Toledo and Ohio. They failed them both, actually. Lost by Toledo 21 points as a 5.5-point dog, and then lost to Ohio as a 2.5-point dog, 24-20. But Miami of Ohio is 5-0 as a favorite so far this season. They're still favored, I think, right? In fact, they're up to 2.5 in this one right now. So that's a pretty significant stat right there. 5-0 as a favorite, but they are on the road. They are just 3-2 against the spread on the road. Buffalo, meanwhile, they're 3-7 against the spread here. But you know what? They do kind of have maybe a little bit of a head-to-head advantage here. Let me give you some of the numbers here with these two teams coming in. For Miami of Ohio here, they've covered 6 of the last 9 against Buffalo overall. 13 of the last 19 between these two teams have gone over. Buffalo's been a long-term over dating back to last season. They've gone over in 13 of their last 20 games overall, but Buffalo is 1-3 to the under as an underdog. They're also 1-4 against the spread at home coming into this one. Let's see here if you have any action tonight. The total maybe has even dropped as low as 39.5 here now. The teams did not meet last season. let you contemplate that while I read off a steam play here in college basketball between Florida Gulf Coast and Samford. It is over. The move's coming in on the over between FGCU and the Samford Bulldogs. Gulf Coast here, it was 154.5, but that steam has come in here on the over between Florida Gulf Coast and Samford. The total's now up to 155.5, so about a 1-point move so far. These steam moves haven't been that stiff here, and, well, quite frankly, the percentage has been down too, so maybe the sharps aren't firing as heavy. Okay, we can start with your plays, though, if you want here, and see what you have. I don't know if this is a fresh report that I'm seeing here on some of the news outlets that LeBron and Steph Curry are likely not to play for Team USA at the Olympics in 2008. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Buffalo money line for Greg. 9 legacy is on Miami of Ohio. And Elliot says he's got a player prop here, a TD prop. Thank you, Elliot. Cool. Good to have you today, by the way. And Greg says, don't sleep on Buffalo at home, right? I mean, I don't agree. That's kind of the way I feel in this one. If you look at the numbers here, I mean, Miami's clearly a better cover overall, but both teams are just 5-5. Miami of Ohio in the over for Tariq here. And Greg says, you're not going to give Buffalo points at home where they, traditionally can be so good. This year it has not been good for Buffalo at home this season. So I'm going under here in this one. I know here we're sitting at 40, and we'll see. Maybe I want to even peek at the weather here tonight. Before we move on to the other MAC game here. And let me see here. Okay. Seems cold. Seems cold. All right, I'm going to take the under in this one with Miami of Ohio and Buffalo. And let's go to the next one here real quick. Central Michigan is taking on Kent State in this one. And Central Michigan, another one of those teams at 4-2 right now, so they're still breathing. They're 6-4 overall. Kent is 4-6 here. Central's actually won 3 of their last 4 games coming into this one. Kent's won 2 of their last 3 coming in. Central Michigan beat Buffalo last time out at home, 35-19 last week. It's a 2.5-point favorite. They also have recent wins over UMass, who doesn't, and Bowling Green. They also covered against Western Michigan despite losing the game by 3 points 2 weeks ago. For Kent here, they're coming in off of a win at Akron, 42-35 as a 7.5-point dog. They failed against Ball, 17-13. These two teams have not met in 4 years, so I don't think you can throw in the series history too much unless it was extremely significant. Let's see here. Central Michigan's covered 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams. 6 straight meetings between the two teams have gone over, and Central Michigan's 4-1 to the over so far this season. They're also 7-3 to the over overall. However, Kent is 1-3 to the under at home. They're 3-1 to the against the spread at home are the Kent Golden Flashes, but Central Michigan, like we said, they're 4-1 against the spread as a favorite, and their favorite here, man, it's pretty significant favoritism here, despite the fact that Kent has been pretty solid at home, 3-1 against the spread, maybe because Central Michigan has, more to play for. Also, significant note here in this game, when we get this one here as well. Let me see here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't cover the injuries in the last game. That's what it was. We know that DeQuan Finn has quit the team for Miami of Ohio, right? And he's left the team. I mean, he's I believe he was in his 7th year right now. So sorry, I left that one out there of that game with Miami a quarterback Daquan Finn. But they're still taking the action. It's not like Finn, look, he had topped out a little bit, right? How many teams did he play for? 3, 4 over the years here. So, but we're talking about this one here with Central Michigan and Kent here. Let's see if you guys have a play on this one. Central Michigan's covered 6 of their last 7 coming in. Kent's covered 4 of 6. I think they're doing just fine. But let's see how you guys have it. And then I'll make my call here. The Sharps are clearly on Central Michigan here. It feels like overwhelming right now. All right. Here we go. Tariq's got Central Michigan to win this one. Kent on the spread for 9 Legacy. I think Greg is leaning to Kent in the under there. And Central Michigan to win, but Kent can cover. I think the spread's a little high here, right? Elliott's on Kent. Greg says it's going to be under in that Buffalo game. I think it has to go under if Buffalo wants to win. I'm going to take Kent here plus the points against Central Michigan tonight. Hey, there's a steam play here in the NBA. It's on. Uh-oh, they're going against me, these Sharps. The steam's coming in on the over between Denver and New Orleans. We said, what was it? As low as 232, and it went up to 233.5, but now it's coming down. Here comes that steam to the under right now with Denver and New Orleans. It's all the way down here quickly to 234, but it's still moving. We're kind of catching this one here right now. Could move even further here, it feels like. All right, I think that's going to do it for that one, guys. And we are getting also a little bit of news here. Let's see here on tomorrow's football game with Buffalo right now. They're going to be a little shorthanded in the receiver core tomorrow. We already know Dalton Kincaid is out, right? But now we're finding out Mecole Hardman, who's been picked up by Buffalo, he's not going to be able to make the game. And Curtis Samuel, he's going to be out with an elbow injury tomorrow in that one. So that's going to be a little bit tough. You think about it, right? Because if Kincaid is out, right, what Knox will be fine, I'm sure. Okay. I think we've been talking about that one actually for a couple of days now, right? All right, that's it for the MACtion here. We're going to go to hockey next. We've got a 4-game card on the NHL. Did you guys get your plays in here? Let me take a look here. More Central Michigan action here. Kent State for Elliott. Did we say that? Yeah. Robert here on the over. All right. All right, here we go. I'm going to go to the NHL here next. Let me update my injuries over here. I've lost my connection. Boy, I seem to be having a lot of technical problems, huh? Okay, let's go to the NHL here tonight. Get moving. Just 4 games on the ice. We cover this relatively quickly. Got the Oilers here on the road, taking on the Caps. Oilers come in here 9-8-4. The Caps come in 9-8-2 overall in this one. Both teams kind of up and down here of late. Edmonton is just 1-3 as an underdog so far this season. Washington's 7-5 as a favorite. Edmonton's 3-1 as a puck line underdog this season. Capitals just 5-7 as a puck line favorite. Looks like we got Skinner and Thompson here in goal tonight for Stuart Skinner. He comes in here with a 7-5-3 record, 2.86 goals against, and an 88.5% save percentage. Logan Thompson, he is confirmed in goal tonight, 7-5-1 record, 1.85 goals against, and a 92.5% save percentage here. Capitals, about 20, and relatively kind of a toss-up game here. It feels like right now the total is 6 over. It's definitely 6 over. It might even be 6.5 under here right now between these two teams, depending on how you have it. But looks like we're seeing a game kind of move higher to the over here in this one. Edmonton is the over team for sure. They've gone over in all 4 of their games as an underdog this season. Meanwhile, Washington is 8-11 to the under, 3-7 to the under in their last 10, but Oilers are 8-2 to the over in their last 10 games overall coming in. These two teams have not met yet here this season. And we'll look at the series. Oops. There we go. Yeah, so Oilers come in here right now at 4-7-2 on the road. Hasn't been great, we know that. And for the Capitals here at home, they're sitting in last place right now, but the Metro division is pretty tough. They're 5-4-1 at home so far this season. Get your plays together. Get ready here for our 4-game NHL card tonight. I'm going to go over in this one. It seems like the move's coming in on the over. I know we got Thompson in there tonight. Stu Skinner. I'm going to take the over, though, at 6.5 here. Add a little bit of even money. Give me the over tonight. See what you guys have here in the chat with this one. We got the Roberts on the Caps here. You got Cash Kane. He swept the games on the ice there yesterday. He's got the Oil here. Plus on the puck line. 9 Legacy Oilers here. Greg's calling it for 4-3 Caps. And Caps in the over for Tariq. And got a little bit of steam coming in here in a college basketball game just now between Bryant and Virginia Tech. Seeing some steam to the over here in this one between Bryant and V-Tech. It was 148, but we're seeing this one go much higher. It got steamed closer to 150, but nonetheless, it's way higher than the send out here right now. And we're seeing it currently at 151.5. So pretty much a 3.5 point move off the opener, maybe just a tick higher with this steam currently, but that one's moved considerably higher here. Bryant and Virginia Tech over. All right, I'm going to take the over in the Oilers and the Capitals here tonight. Next up, the Flames are taking on the Sabres here on Wednesday night. You got the Sabres, $1.60 now here, total 6 over 20, maybe some 6.5 unders out there, but it feels like 6 over is kind of the play here right now. The Sabres just announced here moments ago some injuries. Zucker is going to be out tonight for the Sabres. Also, Calgary announced a short time ago that defenseman Zane Perrick is going to be hitting the injured reserve with an upper body injury there. So let's see what you got here in this one, though, with the Flames. I'm showing Cooley here in net. Going up against a Lion. But no, in fact, Colton Ellis. Let's change it. Colton Ellis is back in the net here again. Ellis is 3-1 so far with a 2.76 goals against and a 91.5% save percentage. Cooley's 0-2-1, but a 1.75 goals against coming in and a 93.5% save percentage. So a couple of backups here, but both of them have done pretty well so far. Calgary's lost 2 straight games coming in, losses to Chicago and Winnipeg. Buffalo, meanwhile, off a pair of wins. They beat Detroit and they beat Edmonton here right now. But the thing about this series, and again, you got East-West here for sure. They don't play that often, but you can't ignore that Calgary's kind of given the Sabres a hard time in this series. 6-1 are the Flames in their last 7 trips here into Buffalo. So they've won 6 of the last 7 years coming into Buffalo. But Calgary's been so dismal on the road right now. They're just 2-9 currently. They're 3-14 as an underdog coming in. Buffalo's 6-3 at home this season, despite a 7-8-4 record. Calgary's 5-13-3. Buffalo just 1-4 as a puck line favorite, and Calgary 9-8 as a puck line underdog here. Calgary won the last meeting between the two. Buffalo did win a couple of meetings, but in fact, they did win last year's meeting at home. But before that, the Flames had won the previous 6 trips into Buffalo. So for whatever reason, they do give Buffalo a little bit of a hard time here. The Flames are 13-8 to the over right now. They're 8-2 to the over in their last 10. They're also 11-6 to the over as an underdog. So you can tell me here, Flames and Sabres in this one. See what you got. And I'll make my call, but I want to hear from you in the chat. With, let's see here, Greg's talking about the Virginia Tech game in there. Tariq was caps and over. Jim's on the under here in this one. Robert's got the under as well. And let's see, Greg says, take Buffalo until they lose. There we go. He's got 4-3 there. Flames money line for 9 legacy. And Greg says no Flames today. Lovable's on the under here in this one with Calgary and Buffalo. And I got to go under as well. I'm going under with Calgary and Buffalo tonight with these backup goalies in there. Give me the under. Hey, just moments ago, we did see some steam coming in, and it was on the game between Arizona and Connecticut. I already said I'm on Connecticut, right, because the steam came in, and now here comes steam on the under. Wow, that's kind of catches me by surprise. It was as high as 158.5 in the game between Arizona and Connecticut, but right now we're seeing some steam come in on the under, and it's all the way down here to 156. Arizona and Connecticut steam to the under here on the Morning Steam Show. Tariq liked the under in that hockey game here between Calgary and Buffalo. Now let's keep it moving here as we have the Carolina Hurricanes on the road taking on the Minnesota Wild. Wallstedt's in there again here for Minnesota. Minnesota 9-7-4. Carolina continues to be one of the best. 13-5-1. But they've been up and down of late. Minnesota's won 2 in a row. They've been pretty hot here of late. They've also gone 6-2-2 in their last 10, but Carolina's still 7-2-1 in their last 10, despite the fact that they have lost 2 of their last 4 games right now. A little bit of slip up there, but man, they've been good. They're 12-4 as a favorite. They've been favored in every game this year except 3. Minnesota here is 6-3 at home so far this season. They're also 7-4 as a puck line dog, and Carolina 7-9 as a puck line favorite. Carolina's gone over in 8 of their last 10, but they've gone under in 7 of their last 10 games on the road. Let's see how that shapes things up here for you folks. Carolina and Minnesota here in this one. Carolina's also gone over in 5 of their last 7 games. Minnesota's won 6 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams overall. 6 of the last 9 meetings have also gone under here. Minnesota's gone under in 5 straight at home. Minnesota's won 4 of their last 5. overall coming in. Let's see how you have it. Carolina and Minnesota here tonight in Minneapolis. Okay, here we go. Tariq, we're getting a lot of steam. I know that. I know how excited you get, Tariq, when you hear that noise. So we got to make sure we stay on top of these moves, and hopefully you are seeing the significance of it. Seeing those lines move here. Like I said, I think this week it's been a little bit tame as far as the winning is concerned, but usually the bigger the card, the more effective the steam. It feels like. Elliott's on the under here. Robert's on the under. 9 Legacy is on the Hurricanes. Lovable's on the over. Jim's on the over here. Carolina's been playing a lot of games here of late, says Kelly. Yep, they played 2 nights ago. I don't know if they've had the back-to-back there with the Vancouver and Edmonton. Maybe that's part of their inconsistency lately because they've been terrific. We know that. Robert's here on Carolina. Greg says it'll be 4-2 here tonight for Carolina. 9 Legacy likes Carolina here as well. These two teams did play 13 days ago at Carolina. Carolina won that game 4-3. Lovable might take that overtime. Again, so last night, just 2 of the games went overtime last night, but in the month of November so far, and for the season, it's really just been in November, but it can encompass the entire season. If you take, I mentioned it yesterday, but if you took the draw, the game to go overtime in every game this season, you'd be up 50 units. 50 units by taking the draw. In fact, I believe they said here in November, almost 1/3 of the games have gone to a draw. I think it was 30. I read it off earlier. A little bit of breaking news here right now. We knew this one, right? But I think it's official here. So I don't know how you're going to see this one. But Dylan Gabriel is going to be out of this weekend's game for the Cleveland Browns right now. So, that means Shedeur Sanders will be in there. We're already seeing the Raiders move up here right now. I don't know if it's steam, but the line is definitely moving here. The Raiders up to a 4-point favorite. Here it's even juiced at Bet Online. So Dylan Gabriel is out. We're going to get Shedeur here this week. Hey, no problem. We want to see Shedeur, right? We want to see him get in there, try to feel comfortable. I think right now, it's funny how, we're all finicky, aren't we, as fans, right? Maybe if you don't like Dion, you don't like the way they've conducted their business, and it's Shedeur for all intent and purposes. When you listen to him, right, it does feel like Dion's probably a pretty good dad, right? He's talked to him, when you're wealthy and you have things. I'm not saying handed you on a silver platter. He's obviously got his own endorsement deals. I think Shadeur's been humble in all this. I think he's been humble overall, and you may have rooted against him at Colorado because of what, but it's hard you kind of want to root for him right here, even if, because we root for underdogs, right? And Shadeur's an underdog now. He does not look great out there at all. And maybe he's not even worthy of a job as a professional backup quarterback. But, when you see someone I don't know. I kind of gravitate to those type of people. So I don't know if they're going to get it done here this weekend with him in the lineup. But I think in general it might be easier or more fun to root for him rather than the way things went with Colorado. And I'm not saying arrogance, the confidence they had. Look, they turned around Colorado. We heard Dion this week kind of give himself his own bill of confidence, if you will, saying, hey, I'm still the man for this job at Colorado. So everybody said he was going to be out the door coaching the Cowboys with his son on the team. And you know what? I think he wants to stay in Colorado and see this through. I don't think he's going to get fired after this season. Look, he saved whether or not Dion, they might go 3-8 or 4-8 or whatever they're going to do this
Critical
season,
notice.
but hey, he saved football in Colorado and it's in Boulder, and it's a football crazy town that have been starving. All right, let's see here. Kelly said it was 6 and 9 days on that game there. Here's Hurricanes in regulation for Tariq. And let's see here. Lovell says, remember it was 24-0. And Kelly, what about if I wear a chain, here? And Greg's talking that game already. And Lion Lacey says, bring him to the Raiders. Bring Dion to the Raiders as head coach. Put Shador in there. And unfortunately, the Raiders, until you fix that offensive line, it's going to be a disaster. It was hard to blame anything on the quarterbacking situation there last week when they're just getting crushed by an offensive line that couldn't do anything. Anthony took the Blazers and under there a little bit. We're talking everything here now. We're on the Hurricanes and the Wild. I'm going to make my pick here right now on the Minnesota Wild. Give me the Wild at home against the Hurricanes here tonight. But pretty impressive there so far for Carolina in this favorite role. They've been doing a good job. Right, Lovable? That's, there's part of it for sure. All right, Blazers there. And, Anthony was just fixing his total there. No problem, Anthony. Okay. That's it for that one, and let's go to the final game of the night here. We got Boston on the road taking on the Hot Ducks. Hot Ducks here with the Ducks at home. Man, they're a big favorite here in this one. Boston's been playing pretty well. They did lose last game, obviously, to Carolina, 3-1 at home, but still, they've had a few wins here. They're 8-2 in their last 10 overall. They're 10-8 as a favorite, but Anaheim at home has been money. 6-1 at home so far. They're 3-1 as a favorite so far this season. 12-6-1 coming in, but Boston's been doing a nice job as well, right? Here they are 12-9 overall so far this season. So let's see what you have here in this one. Boston on this road trip right now. The first game of the road trip, actually, they'd actually played at Toronto, then went home. Then they played at Ottawa and Montreal, went home against Carolina, and now they're back on the road. This is a little bit of a Kelly special here a little bit. Feels like they have been a little bit busy on their travel somewhat, and they're big underdog here at $1.75 right now. But I don't know, still a pretty big number. You might want to trust them here. Maybe they can stay in there. The puck line's minus $1.70, so this game's a little bit rugged here for me, but let's see what you guys have in this one between Boston and Anaheim here tonight, and then the hockey will be over, and we'll go to college basketball, and the show will be over. Boston here has lost 4 of their last 5 trips into play Anaheim. Anaheim's won 5 straight at home. They're 8-3 in their last 11 overall. 7 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams have gone over here, and well, it is 6.5 after all. Shaded to the under, but we are dealing with a 6.5 in this game. Anaheim's 3-1 to the over as a favorite so far this season. Boston's been a pretty consistent over as well. They've gone over in 7 of their last 10 games overall. 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Man, Boston's done a nice job here so far this season. It feels like even with this travel that maybe you have to almost consider them here on the money line in this game at $1.70. Man, could you imagine the Ducks here are all of a sudden favorites here, big favorites here in some of these games right now? All right, maybe the Ducks are going to beat the pants off of Boston. Let me go to the chat here on this one. Robert's on the over. Greg says it will be 5-2. Carlson, an anytime goal for Timmy Two Shoe in the chat. Hi, Timmy. Good to see you over here. Thank you for coming. All right. And Lovell says take Gruden back in Vegas. Have you been watching? Mike talked about it too. I've been watching. Coach Gruden. Everybody sends him those packages of stuff from the teams. He opened the one from the Raiders the other day and had all that gear in there from the Raiders, a sign from Max Crosby, and he was thinking about it, man, because he was putting on that Raiders gear, and we did talk about it a little bit here on the show, right? Kind of been cleared a little bit of that whole incident. It didn't look bad. It didn't look good, right? Now, look, none of us are racists in here. When you have a good friend, hey, you know what? I might have a good friend who might be from a different heritage. They might be black. They might be Mexican. They might be Asian. They might make fun of me for being bald, whatever, right? It was a tough incident. Shouldn't have done that, but the email should have never been released. They overstepped their bounds a little bit, and quite frankly, he was kind of cleared of any, other than losing his job, which sucks at the time. But you know what? He always kind of still does the right thing a little bit. You know what? He's turned in. Oh, he's turned in. He's always been kind of a character, right? But he's almost like turned into a little bit of a character of himself. It might be a little overbearing, actually, but I think if he got a job as a head coach, he would dial it back a little bit and go and probably be very, very serious one more time. I mean, he's not an old man for sure. Could John Gruden return to the Raiders where he maybe belongs? Because it's not working out. We know with it's not working out right now, of course, with Coach Carroll. But Justin's on the over here. He likes that hot ducks. Their duck meat is tender, man. Okay. Kreider again there. Anaheim too big of a favorite. Could be Geeky scoring again, keeping it hot here. Over for Tariq. And there's Gooey. A little more tennis action from Gooey. Gooey's keeping us alive in the courts when the main players are taking time off. And the news is, we're starting to see the news come out about the players saying this is it's getting a little long for us. And we saw the news come out yesterday that Carlos Alcaraz, he's going to be skipping.
Steam play.
What was it, the Davis Cup, I think? Is he going to skip the Davis Cup with a back injury? All right, we're seeing a little steam here right now between Dayton and Marquette. We're seeing some steam to the over here in this one. I'll get my play here in just a moment of this game. But steam here right now, Dayton and Marquette to the over here.
Critical notice.
In this one. And going here, it was 153, but we're seeing that steam come in here with Dayton and Marquette. And right now, that total is going up here to 153 here. Oh, it was okay. It opened as low as 151.5. Steam has come in here at 152, and it's up to 153. All right. Also, Justin Garrett Nussmeier will be doubtful here. They're playing LSU's playing Western Kentucky here this week, so we know the SEC takes a week to play some other teams outside of conference. They're going to have to fix this. This is a problem for the SEC, actually. They're going to do it, I think, with the schedule here, play more and more conference games, stop playing these, other teams. But Nussmeier is out this week, or doubtful for LSU. Okay, and Dylon's here in the chat. He says this will be a great game, actually, here tonight between Boston and Anaheim. All right, I'm gonna take Boston on the puck line here. It's got to be a 1-goal game, and I'll just take Boston here at plus 1.5 at minus 170. I know it's a big number there, but again, I just on these shows, I just take either puck line or money line. So one way or the other, I don't know if I like Boston as a dog all the way, especially the way these games are going. All right, Greg says don't bet on Charleston or Siena. And Lovell says, yeah, minus 170. I had to do it. Lovable talking about it, right? I mean, it's all way blown out of proportion, right? I mean, come on. Let's get real here with how the human race has evolved. I mean, look, remember sharks were here long before sharks are older than trees. Sharks are older than the rings on Saturn. Sharks rule the world. Just remember that. All right, that's it for hockey here tonight. And we're going to go to college basketball. I've got several games here, but hey, you know what? The segment will probably be pretty short because of the fact that all the plays have already come out. Already gave out all the plays. Let's go. All right, Dylan liked the over in that last game. He says Anaheim has beaten the Bruins in 7 of the last 8 meetings between the two teams. Wow. That usually would get me on a favorite. But again, yeah, minus $1.75. And Dylan like Washington there. Jerry said he's got SGA. Oh, he says talking about the possibly leaving the game there in a blowout. Timmy likes St. Mary. Let's go. I got St. Mary's in the preview, so let's go. Middle Tennessee is taking on Michigan in this one. Top of the regular board here does look like a blowout on paper, and hey, it probably should be one-sided game, but we're looking at it spread-wise here, and I just thought it'd be interesting to look at Middle Tennessee here, at least take a preview of this game. Middle Tennessee comes in here undefeated, and Michigan's undefeated as well. So it hasn't been a hard schedule for Middle Tennessee for sure, and Michigan is a 7th-ranked team in the country right now. Middle Tennessee actually did play a non-Division I opponent so far this season here, and hey, they're getting paid to come in here and take on the Wolverines here tonight, but they're getting a bushel full of points, that's for sure. Middle Tennessee played Milligan and Webster as their first 2 games, and they played Evansville 77-72. They did get the money in that one for Michigan here. They come in 3-0. They played 3 Division I teams. They beat Oakland by 24. Beat Oakland by 43 as a 24.5-point favorite, but they failed against Wake. They failed against TCU as 15.5-point favorites against Wake. They didn't cover. 7.5-point favorite against TCU. They didn't cover in that one either, and now they're favored by 27 here against a Middle Tennessee team here that, look, they were okay last year. They were 22-12 overall. They won a conference tournament game last year. They've been a decent program here over last season. Finished pretty strong in conference play, winning 7 of their last 8. They won 8 of their last 11 games, 8 of their last 12 overall last season. Look, Michigan's pretty dynamite. We know that. But, again, not covering all their numbers here so far after just 3 games. So see if you like this one here. I just thought let's take a look at it with Middle Tennessee coming in here as a big number for sure. So I'm going to grab them. I'm going to take Middle Tennessee. I'm going to take my chances here on the road and take Middle Tennessee plus these points in this one. All right, and let's see. All right, let me see. Timmy's on middle here. Says that number, just too much. Greg, same thing, just a little bit too high. 9 Legacy, just a little bit too high. Kelly, though, might take the team total over on Michigan. Robert's on the over here in this one. Lovable maybe likes the under. I'll say the move has come in on the over here. In fact, it might be over this number I have on the screen now. No, it's still 157.5 total there, and 28 now on the spread. So I'm going to take Middle Tennessee in this one against Michigan. Michigan just 1-2 ATS so far. And also Terrell on the under here. I'm sorry, he's on the underdog and the over. All right, next up. All right, I'm watching a little cricket action here. It's getting a little thin here when you're watching Bangladesh split squad going up here. Maybe I could find some Challenger tennis on the old tennis channel plus. All right, South Alabama taking on Jacksonville State here. Good game, huh? And I think didn't we already say who we're on? We're on South Alabama, right? We already gave this one away when that steam came in. I said nothing I can do. I like South Alabama here. Here comes the steam. I got to give it away right now in the middle of the college basketball or the NBA segment. You got South Alabama coming here in this one on the road, taking on Jacksonville State. South Alabama comes in 5-0 so far this season, 4-0 against Division I competition. Jacksonville State, they're 3-0 so far, although just 0-1 against the spread. They've actually played two non-Division I opponents so far for Jacksonville State. But meanwhile, USA's had a little bit tougher schedule. They've at least played they're 1-3 ATS. They covered against Toledo as an underdog in a 76-74 win on the road. They beat Alcorn by 6, but were favored by 18. They beat Central Michigan by 2. They were favored by 5, and they beat Coppin by 9. They were favored by 19. So they did cover, though, in that only road game so far this season. Jacksonville State did fail in a 74-67 win over Coastal. So maybe USA has been a little bit better against the number than Jacksonville State here so far. It doesn't matter. I'm on South Alabama. Nothing I can do. I said I'm on South Alabama. South Alabama's 1-2-1 to the total so far this season. Jacksonville State did go over in that game against Coastal Carolina. It was 139.5 and finished 143. But let's see. You guys might be commenting on this one, and I'll check you guys out. Tariq was on Middle Tennessee there. And Tariq says, we're on South Alabama here. I think Lovable likes the under. Oh, no, that was the Middle Tennessee game there. Terrell's on South Alabama. I think Greg here likes South Alabama as well. I mean, after all, Jacksonville State is the slight favorite here. -2, total 136.5. I actually think I could update the banner there a little bit. I think it's -2 for sure. So, yeah, maybe a little bit of move on South Alabama, but I'm going to take them with you guys. All right. As Terrell says, it might drop another point. 9 Legacy on South Alabama. All right, and I'm already down on this one too. We saw the big move on UConn up to 7.5. I was coming in on UConn, hopefully at 5.5 here on the show, but the steam came in while we were in the segment. That's okay. I'm going to take you Connecticut here against Arizona here in this one, in the big game of the day for sure. Both teams coming in here with a 4-0 record right now. 2 of the top 4 teams in the country. You got number 4 Arizona, number 3 Connecticut. This is the game of the day here. Arizona with wins over Florida, of course. It's a underdog in that one. They won by 6 on the road. Remember to get things started. They beat Utah Tech by 26, but they didn't cover 33 points. They beat NAU by 35, but they were favored by 35.5. Then they beat UCLA 69-65 as just a 1.5 point favorite in that exciting late night game for Connecticut here. They're 4-0 also this season, but just 1-3 against the spread so far. Let me update that spread, make it the 7.5 up there. Total down here big time to 155. There we go. What do you guys think of that total going down, on that steam that we reported? These two teams haven't met, believe it or not, in 7 years here, but remember their famous meeting? Let's see, what am I thinking? Oh, thinking of another matchup here. Anyways, for these two teams, Arizona did go over in their only underdog role this season. Connecticut went over in that favorite role in that matchup against BYU. Okay, here it is. So Connecticut beat BYU 86-84 as a 6.5-point favorite last time out. They failed to cover against Connecticut. They won by 27 as a 33-point favorite. And they clobbered Lowell but covered. And against New Haven, they didn't cover, remember, in that season opener. So I'm on Connecticut here to win this one, maybe even by double digits tonight. I like Connecticut in this one. Here we go. Arizona, though, for 9 Legacy, they got a good team this year. Oh, they do. They do, no doubt. Justin got that CLB going there. Robert's on the under there with that move. Justin likes the over here in this one. And Tariq says that move came in pretty stiff there. Greg here, this is going to be, I believe, Arizona for him. And over for sure. More so over, I think, for Greg. Level says we're all going to win today. Greg says Connecticut ain't covering that. Too many points, says Terrell. Arizona will have the lead at times in this game. All right, I'm on Connecticut, though. All right, BMI and Richmond here in this one. We saw some steam actually come in a short time ago on the under in this game. It was 153. It's down to 151 here in this one, actually, with VMI and Richmond. The steam also came in on Richmond. They opened as low as a 12-point favorite, but currently they're about 13.5 here. Market wide right now is Richmond. In this matchup, we're smoke and mirrors. This one sounds right up his street here with VMI coming in 3-2 so far. VMI, but did play a couple of non-Division I games here, but they did beat Southern Indiana 78-74 as a 2.5-point favorite, but they did fail to cover against Missouri and failed to cover against Jacksonville in a closely rated game. They lost 69-67 as a 1.5-point underdog. So for BMI here going up against us, somewhat of a rival here in Richmond. Richmond with back-to-back wins here right now. They beat ECU 87-72 to get the money, but they failed against William and Mary 90-86 as a 9.5-point favorite here in this one. Let's see how you guys have it here tonight in this one with Richmond and VMI. I kind of like the steam on both, actually. 9 Legacy, like in VMI here. And Tariq says you can't bet the Virginia game. Does that mean, are you in Virginia, Tariq? I didn't think you were. Is it a law, or your own law, or are you in Virginia and they don't take? Let's see here. Robert is on the under here in this one. Kelly says maybe it'll go under. Greg says, remember, Arizona played UCLA pretty tough in that game. Robert's on a VMI here as well. I'm going with the under here in this one. Give me the under as my play here between VMI and Richmond. I don't want to lay those double digits. Okay, Tariq says, yeah, can't bet the Virginia games in Virginia. Dumb rule, right, Tariq? I mean, if we can catch these guys betting $10,000 on pitches, I think we can figure out who's betting on Virginia games if there was something funky to go down, right? But these are where the regulators don't understand sports betting, and they just bring them in there and say, hey, we're not going to do this so the players don't bet the games or whatever. Seems like a misguided rule, doesn't it? Richmond for Greg here. Lovable says, can't get with Virginia Military Institute. Ready Semetti's in the chat. Ready Semetti's always ready for a little USF basketball. USF is South Florida. Hey, Luke Murphy. Hello, Luke. He's got the under in this one. Thanks, Luke. Nice to see you. All right. Hey, on a few games here we can at least get together. Although this one also I think was a giveaway there when we were talking on the early portion of the show, right? I'm already on it. I'm on the under here in this one with Maryland, Baltimore County, and George Washington. I thought I was cool making making some, on this show. I think the thing that differentiates us from, we don't go heavy into personnel, but that's not our job. We're looking at the markets, we're looking at the numbers, and we take a look at these other games that not all the shows do. Remember, this is the show the bookmakers watch, the Morning Steam. Shout out to all those bookmakers here, especially in Las Vegas, that watch the Morning Steam show. All right, but I'm already on the under here in this one. Probably got to update. It says 164 there. You grade me at 161. This one's gone considerably under, and maybe George Washington's actually taking the action here. 24.5, but a little bit of a regional game here for sure. And I'm going to take the under in this one with Maryland, Baltimore County, the Retrievers, and the Colonials. Give me the under here in this one between UMBC and George Washington. But UMBC coming in 3-1. They also have not played a completely Division I schedule yet this season. They did have a couple of non-Division I games, or one. Let's see, I think it's 2 Division I games out of the 3 here so far. Let me see if I get it right. They played. They have 3 Division I games for sure. They beat Penn State York, but then they lost to Dayton. They beat Morgan State, and they beat Wagner 71-70 in overtime. They didn't get the money in that one as a 5.5-point favorite. They didn't get the money against Morgan as a 4.5-point favorite there, and the loss to Dayton. Dayton, however, was a cover for UMBC as they were an underdog. For G-Dub, they come in here with a 4-0 record, 3-1 against the spread. They covered against USF, they covered against American U, and they covered against Old Dominion last time out. They were laying 14.5 and beat ODU by 26 to improve to 4-0. They also they failed against Maine by 0.5 point. So basically 0.5 point away from being 4-0 against the spread. They were favored by 20.5 and won by 20. You're not going to fault them really on that, right? That's almost, if you're kind of thinking about it, that's almost a cover. I mean, I know that's obvious, but you know what I'm saying. It's not like a 3-point game where you lose by 0.5. You probably could have got there. They played pretty well. Okay, here we go with some chat here in this one. Greg said, don't be surprised if Arizona wins. He says the UConn spread will drop back down. It may. I may have to wait on that one, huh? Greg's got GW here by 25. More significantly, though, this is a big-time under for Greg in that game. Greg says George Washington's going to blow him out. Yeah, but that's still barely covering the spread right now. All right. Drew Brees is early, Ramon, and one day he'll be 2025, Ramon. I don't know what that means, but I'm a Drew Brees fan. Robert here on the under. Everybody liking him? Anybody heard him on the NFL? We knew he was going to be in the NFL broadcasting rotation soon enough. He took Sanchez's place. All right, I'm on the under with Maryland, Baltimore County. So is Robert Dixon and George Washington. Next up, we got that South Florida game we're talking about. See, you just have to wait. We got it here on the Morning Steam show. Steam came in on the under in this game, and look at how it's gone down here. This is supposed to be the wild game of the day here. 181 is the total in this one. Actually, it's down to 179, maybe even 178.5. A little bit of a 3-point move here with that steam that came in. I'm not sure I'm buying it. I know that some of those high-scoring games have ended up under. IU Indianapolis didn't, but they're a little different. So see what you got here, though. The Bulls, this is a pretty good game here with South Florida here on the road, taking on Oklahoma State, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific in this one. You got USF 3-1 coming in so far. Their only loss was to George Washington. They won or they lost 99-95. But you see that total and you see the games that South Florida has been playing so far. They beat Kennesaw last time out 108-89, covered the spread 7.5. They beat Coppin 100-50 as a 34.5 point favorite, but they scored 100. And they beat FAU 102-67 to cover a 28.5. So South Florida is covering when they're a big favorite. When they were a small favorite against G-Dub, that's when they didn't cover. For Oklahoma State, they're 4-0 coming in. They did have covers against Oral and Texas A&M. They also beat Prairie View, but did not cover 30.5. And then they came back against Corpus Christi, beat them by 16, but they didn't cover the spread in that one either. So they're just 2-2 ATS. USF is 3-1 to the over so far this season, but Oklahoma State is 1-3 to the under. So let's see what you might have here in this one with South Florida on the road taking on Oklahoma State here tonight in a decent game. A reasonable spread here and everything, right? I'm taking Oklahoma State. I'm laying the points here tonight with Oak State at, I'm sorry there, I know we got some South Florida support in the chat, but I'm going to lay 5 points with Oklahoma State here in this one. Oklahoma State, Robert Jennings is questionable here in this game. That might be of some significance. I don't even think they gave us a reason, but I'm still going to take Oklahoma State here in this one. And let's see what you got here. Greg says GW is going to score 100. And Nine Legacy went with Baltimore County. Justin's got the over on this one. And let's see here. Lovable here. Taking the points with South Florida. Nine Legacies with me. Greg's liking South Florida here. And Timmy said it looks like it's moving lower there a little bit. And Greg says, don't do it, Ramon. Don't do it. You got to take South Florida in this one. Oh, darn it. Okay, I'm on Oak State here in this one. All right, we're almost done with the show. I got a few more here. I got to go with this one, right? Alabama and Illinois. A good game here in the United Center. With Alabama on the road, an underdog here to Illinois. It's gone down here. It went from maybe 2.5, 3, up to 4, back down here a little bit to 3.5 right now with Illinois favored in this one. And the total, another high one here, 182. But it does. This one feels like, it's not like they, when they say, when they go in these big arenas, you got to go under, but it's more so in those big arenas, right, where they play in the football stadiums, so they can fit, 50,000 fans in there, and the depth perception is off. It's not like a real pro arena. Ooh, that was a nice catch here in the cricket match. So I think it's okay here if you want to look even to the over here in this one, but I'm probably going to go to the side here with these two. You got Alabama coming in here, ranked 11th. They're 3-1. Illinois is 4-0, ranked 8th in the country right now. Illinois 3-1 against the spread, 3-1 against the spread as a favorite. As a matter of fact, they've been favored in every game so far. Alabama 1-2 against the spread, but 1-0 against the spread as an underdog against St. John's. They were an underdog by 4.5 points, and they won 103-96. They did beat North Dakota by 29, but they were favored by 35.5, and then they lost to Purdue. Remember, they were favored at home against Purdue, but we just see now, Purdue, instant top 4 team here all of a sudden with their hot streak here, the Boilers. Illinois, meanwhile, covered their first 3. They covered against Jackson State. They covered 28.5. They covered 28.5 against Gulf Coast, and they beat Texas Tech by 4 as a 3.5 point favorite. They did fail against Colgate, 84-65 as a 31 point favorite. But man, Illinois has done a nice job here so far, and I got to take them, man. I'm taking Illinois here. It's still a kind of a home court, I think, for me. I don't know if Alabama is going to be coming in here to the United Center. This is a home game for Illinois, the way I see it, and I got to take Illinois in this one. I take the Illini at home to cover the spread in this one. Let's see what you guys have in the chat. And then we got one more game, and we'll be out of here. Thank you for joining me, everybody. We're going to do the drawing, of course. All right. Justin took Alabama over on the team total there. He's taking Alabama here today to play a good game on the road. Thank you to Stop Geo. Nice to see you in the chat. Greg's got this one. It looks like going over now with that move to the under. Greg's going to take the over, it looks like. Nine Legacy likes Alabama, but Tree will take Arizona here. And Timmy said if it's over, he hopes they go up and down the court on this one. All right, I got one more here for the action on Wednesday night. It's going to be Arkansas State taking on St. Mary's. Look at this. The Red Wolves come in here 3-1. St. Mary's is 4-0, but St. Mary's 4-0 straight up, 4-0 against the spread so far this season, taking on all comers. St. Mary's with covers over St. Thomas by they won by 26, favored by 13.5. They beat Chattanooga by 19 as a 15-point favorite. They beat Ohio by 30 as a 17.5-point favorite. They beat North Texas by 31 as a 14.5-point favorite. What I see there is big spreads ranging from 13.5 to 17.5, and St. Mary's still getting it done. Now, look, there's a little bit more points, and Arkansas State has actually 2-1 against the spread so far, getting modest numbers, nothing in that big number range. They beat Ohio 89-85 for a cover. They lost to Stephen F. Austin 90-65 on the road as a 1.5-point favorite in ugly fashion. And they beat Missouri State 86-85 as a 1.5-point dog. So they played 2 close games here, all their games on the road so far this season. 2-0 as an underdog so far for Arkansas State. Is this enough points? These two teams are a combined 5-2 to the over so far this season. But can Arkansas State get enough points here against St. Mary's in this one? Let's see what you guys think of here. This is a good one, huh? Here we go. I know what I'm doing, but I want to see you guys first. Okay, I think that's St. Mary's there for Justin. Yeah, it is. There it is right there. And let's see. Lovable says Alabama. Let's see. Lovable's on St. Mary's here. Greg likes St. Mary's there, it looks like, as well. 9 Legacy, St. Mary's on the spread. Just keep rolling with St. Mary's there, a money-making machine. Kelly says, is this number a little bit high? It's funny, Kelly, you mentioned, because the steam actually came in on the under, but it's been pushed back up to the over here right now. It's all the way up to 148.5. So two-way action here is kind of made me back off a little bit. I'm going with St. Mary's as well, you guys. It's probably going to be more of a squeaker than we might be making it out there. It might even be a couple points too high, but it's hard to ignore them covering all these numbers. Arkansas State got a nice little team here going for sure so far this season. Like I said, look, I don't mind previewing some 20-point games if I think the other team's pretty decent. And I think against their similar competition, if you will, I think Arkansas State can have a nice season this year. I think with this club, I think that's what we're looking at. You got an Arkansas State team here. They are coming off of a win over Christian Brothers, 95-67. So they do have one non-Division I game so far this season. But, the way St. Mary's has been doing it right now, I mean, this is a team that, is always going to be the same team every year. They just lose 6 or 7 games usually, maybe 8, and usually go into the tournament and win a game or 2. All right, let's see. Lovell's got a 22-point win. And I think, what's that, Cal Baptist or what? that they played last night. I guess that's it for the Morning Steam Show. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here. Had a great time with you guys. Thanks for spending 2.5 hours with me here today, as usual. Love going over all these games. Don't forget, Sean Fox is here tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific, right after pre-gaming with Mikey Money. He's going to get you ready for the primetime action with his pre-gaming at 6 p.m. Eastern and 3 Pacific. Don't forget, check out VB MMA picks today. We had Narco Cop as our analyst here. If you haven't seen Narco Cop before, he's a great analyst, also a great poker player. He's played on a World Series of Poker final table multiple times, and he was our guest this week. Also, First Strike will be out tonight from the guys as well. They'll get you their best picks for this Saturday's card. Remember, after this week, so this fight card this Saturday is at, make sure you're up with us at 10 p.m. Eastern at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific here this weekend for that fight card. Sarukian and Hooker, lightweights in the main event here this week. And then there's a week off from UFC. There's only, I think, 2 or 3 more cards of the rest of the season here. 3 more cards, I think, the rest of the season here. They take a few weeks off in the holidays, and then we're back at it again next year on Paramount Plus. Also, one quick steam move here just came in college football. We were talking Dion earlier. Arizona State and Colorado steam to the under at 49. It's going lower than 49 here right now. There with Arizona State and Colorado, one last move here. All right, thank you very much for joining me on the show. Let's get ready to do the drawing here in just a moment. But don't forget, you can get more plays from me here every day by going to winnable.com/Ramon. Please consider signing up. It really makes a difference for me. Look, like I said, we've got about 60, maybe a few more now. We're growing here, about 60, 65 subscribers that are, paying for the picks, okay? And they're paying upwards of 50 cents a day. So you do the math. I come in here, do the show 2 or 3 hours a day. Mikey doesn't. I just an agreement with Mikey and I have a great channel. We're building up the Sports Money brand, but my deal is to come on here and promote my picks. You guys support me. I send some picks out. They're not guaranteed or anything, but it's just some extra content really from me, and comes out to less than 50 cents a day that the folks that are supporting me. So we're not getting rich here off that. We're hopefully getting rich off the plays and off each other as well, with the great contributions from everyone in the chat and a great community here with the Sports Money Network. We put our community up against any of these other. They're all great. We love all of our content creators here on all of the channels. I love them all, man. I tell you, I watch them. But make sure if you want, throw me a bone out here, support me here on the channel. I hope to return the favor with some great winners here today on a card like this. I'm sure I'm going to have, I would say, upwards of 5, 7, 9, maybe even 10 picks on this card go out there today on college basketball. That's my main focus this time right now with the winnable. So really appreciate it. And let's hear from Mikey Money here right now, talking about the winnable program.
Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
Thank you, Mikey Money, and let's do the drawing right now to see who's going to win a. Now at least we got those nice Thanksgiving. There we go. How's that, you guys? Well, we gotta have this up here so I can move me in there and bring in the contest drawing. Catch you tomorrow, everybody, at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. We had 38 commenters today, and let's run the drawing and see who wins. I think it's just about the winning here. Action Jackson, Elliot, Robert, Gary, Steve, Joe, Blake, Trevor, Gerardo, SF9er, Dirty Reg, Blake, and the winner is Robert Dixon. Robert, thank you very much for all of your support, for supporting me here on the Sports Money Network call. Tack on a month to your subscription if it's active here right now. If not, you'll have to reactivate it by going in there and selecting that again. Remember, use the promo code WINNER to reactivate. If you're not, I think you are, though, Robert. I really appreciate all of your support here of me on the Sports Money Network. All right, that's going to do it here for the Morning Steam Show, and we'll be back tomorrow. And don't forget, we got Mikey Money tonight. We got Sean Fox there tonight. And, man, I'll be joining Sean here in just maybe 1 or 2 more weeks as soon as my high school football teams that I cover kind of drop out. I'm down to remember when I was showing my sheet there on the screen the other day. I'm down to 4 teams. I'm 4 games. I'm following here this Friday night. You see my little. I do a little. These are like my power ratings here of my little high school teams there, and look, 2 of my teams are playing each other right here in the big game. The 2 best teams from my community are facing off. Both teams 8-3, and I say it's going to be GH over MM. And I got 3 different models there: 30-22, 35-9. This is high-tech high school handicapping right here. Hope you got a kick out of that. All right, a few more comments, and I'll let you out of here. Thanks, everybody, for keeping me company here. And you guys are the most important thing I've got, really, in my life, believe it or not. I do have some family out here. I love them much, but I wake up every day, and this is what I do, is this show, these shows that I do. So thank you to Lovable, Robert's in there. Kelly, of course, does so much for us here in the community. And Kelly, you and I should start a website, actually. You do such great work, and more of your work should get noticed. I'm trying to get Mikey here to get us up and running, but I might have to start a website. I want to put out some no one will hire me to write any articles for their website. Anybody run any websites out there that they want to or I guess everybody uses AI anymore. Everybody uses AI now. They don't need any writers anymore. They don't need writers. I even put my high school through the AI to get all the work done. Steve Fowlo, man, it's so nice to see Steve Fowlo in there. Wow, Steve, great to see you. I hope you've been doing good. I missed seeing you in the chat there. And who else? I think that might be it. Yeah, we might have to do that, Justin. I need a commentator, and you're up in the middle of the night, Justin. You should already have it, actually, Justin. So hit me up later on. I'm going to need you in there if I can't get my other partner there. He's a busy young man. He's doing a great job for us. You know that. But yeah, could use some company there in the middle of the night, Justin. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Robert. Make sure if you're already signed up, I'll just put another month on there. If not, make sure you re-sign up and use the winner. You know how it works. So, all right. We need writers here, right? But I wanted to write. I have a script. You guys know how I do it, right? I mean, for the beginning of the show, I have a little script that I'll read off all the, hey, this team beat this team. I had this team to cover and everything. And maybe we should turn those into articles. I even showed Mike. You can kind of take one of the neat things I thought was. And this isn't like AI, writing your story, right? I showed Mike where you can go to take the transcript, for example, from First Strike and copy the entire transcript, put it into AI, and it'll turn it into an article about the comments. And they'll say, like, Jeff said that he should win because he's got great grappling. And it's not AI, just, you could just say to AI, give me a preview of the San Francisco New York game, and it might have, and you know how it is, sometimes it has players like on the wrong year or the wrong team, but it's all about the input. So if you just take like a stream of information, like I was saying, where you could take the YouTube transcript, throw it into AI, tell it to write an article, and it'll basically write the YouTube transcript as like an article. So you could have like a First Strike or a VB show, or even this show. I could take the NBA, for example, and turn it into a story where it would say, Ramon said this, this, and this, and so in the chat likes this, and it could be an article. So just some of the things that my brain thinks about. All right, that's going to do it. Get me out of here. Thanks, everybody, for joining me here on the show. My brain's always thinking of weird shit, so thanks for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow here on the Morning Steam Show. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So long.
Books can't escape from the team called the Morning Steam. It's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the Morning Steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money.